here. The wireless, and welcome to another segment of another unboxing video product from the and welcome to a new segment. It's been a while since I actually put our content on this channel. I know that me being busy in school had kept me from making new videos, so I was in a show. It was kind of busy to say the least because I was doing projects after project for different assignments, and I didn't have the chance to make a video until today. So as I said, I was kind of busy to finding a job for work from home, so things have been pretty busy. But that's not what you're here for. You don't hear that crap. You're here for a unboxing video. Alright then. So in the next segment, we got a new package I got from eBay for maybe $50 plus taxes. The Rampage Gatling Progrisekey. This is a newest Progrisekey for the. This is the final form for the Falcon Camarado. Or he's Camarado. And this is the newest form in episode 29. Now this Progrisekey appeared in episode 29 and made a debut. It made another appearance in episode 30 of Camarado 01. I think that this debuted in episode 29. I only watched the show from recently, so pretty much the box was kind of beat up. I got this from eBay from a seller, and pretty much this scene was $50. I wanted to get this from Image Anime, but it was sold out. Before that, it was you could get this, but a lot of people, but they wanted to charge me $52. So I got this for $50 cheaper, and I still got it. So on the box itself, you got a lot of detail from the assault rifle, and pretty much it has all the instructions on the back that tells you how to usually insert it and tells you how to usually put it in the right way. Now, as I said, this is my first time I got this. It took me about 6 days for this package to arrive. I got this on the 1st of April, then had to wait until the 5th of April to get this. Sorry, the 6th of April to get this, and it was a couple of days later. So I usually grab that mask to get this from the get-go. Now, as I said, I actually got a lot of these Progrisekeys from my back of my office, and pretty much I got a lot. Now the box. Now when I got this today, it was in a cheap black plastic bag, and the tape was actually kind of hard to get to. Whoever packaged the actual key, they put a lot of security. I guess during the flu season, there's a lot of priorities have to be straight, but I can guarantee you there's a lot that it has to handle. So pretty much, this is my first time getting this type of Progrisekey. I'm actually glad I'm actually get this, because this was actually kind of sold out. There was a lot of demand because this was a new Progrisekey. A lot of people were desperate to actually get this. So here we go. And I can tell that people were crazy with this, but it is what it is. And here it is. This is the actual package. So inside the box you get a instruction manual how to actually use the key. It's in Kaichin, it's in Japanese, I can't read it. Microsoft out. It's new, mint, and pretty much it just tells you how to insert the key. Even though I can't read Kaichin, it's the best I could do so far. Next we also have the actual Progrisekey in our entirety. This is it. The Rampage Gatling. Are you? Here it is. The Rampage Gatling Progrisekey. The first one of its kind that has a nav function. Now besides the Metal Crosser Hopper key, this one is actually kind of different in the sense that this one doesn't depend on a twist or a tone a panel. This one depends on the knob that has, surprisingly, it depends on the knob that depends. Crap, I can't even say it. So pretty much what makes this machine is that, if you notice from my a previous unboxing video with the Metal Crosser Hopper, this one is a upgrade form that doesn't really use a latch per se, and this one uses a
Rampage
different mechanic.
Gather power, speed, element, all rise, ability.
This is it.
Rampage bullet. Gathering, ability.
This is it, to say the least. So this is it. This is the actual Progrisekey so far. Now, pretty much, this was supposed to be a final form for Camarado Farkin. Besides the Assault Booted, the Assault Wolf, this one was actually a decent Progrisekey that has a transparent. Now I like the now it has the same translucent design compared to the Assault Hopper or the Shiny Hopper Progrisekey, but this one has a decent mechanic that's pretty much decent. So pretty much, as you might notice, this one has 4 different sound effects, 2 optional activation sound effects that you can use by pressing the decompress with the button, or turn the knob, or you can actually control the knob and actually could activate it the same way. And as I said, it doesn't have a name. Now this design is actually kind of decent because it has a shiny feature that it depends so greatly. You notice that it has a gold plated maneuver, and this one has a shiny aesthetic. You also notice that this is the only Progrisekey that doesn't have a name. Now this is usually because this is the only Progrisekey that doesn't have a name, no ability. If you notice from the actual key, a lot of the default Progrisekeys have a actual name and the ability that it states. And it wasn't until at the maybe season, I think episode 21 or 22, they started to remove the ability so you couldn't even see it well. And this is usually the case with the gimmick when the Metal Crosser Hopper was actually released. When it does show you the name but not the ability, it was have a gimmick similar to this one. But instead of actually being similar to the Metal Crosser Hopper, the Rampage Gatling has multiple activation sounds, and it also has a lot of decent variations between those two. I like the Metal Crosser Hopper, which only has 2 activation sounds, 3. This one has 4 sound effects and 2 activations, depending. And as I said, I don't know the whole 6.6 or the complex, but I know for the fact that this was a high demand product that people have tried to get. Now, as I said, this one was also one of a kind, and this is when we actually get to the actual mechanic. Introducing the Deluxe Shotriser, or
Shotriser.
This is the Deluxe Shotriser from the same developers. Now, when Serial 1 actually premiered, I think it was episode 1. This one was actually kind of bundled. Now, after the end of Serial 1 introduced new drivers to the series by adding new mechanics, and besides the actual driver of the main protagonist, there was also the gun mechanic that acts like a weapon and a transformation device. So most of all, what makes this usually decent is the fact that it only takes 2 AAA batteries, and it doesn't really take that much. And based on the fact it has a where you can actually insert the Progrisekeys into it. Now, why is that relevant? Well, being the final form of the Progrisekeys, it also is compatible with all the Progrisekeys. So now I didn't get a chance to actually show a glimpse of this. Maybe because I didn't have 2 AA batteries, I had to use the Chiku driver that I took from the batteries. I put it inside of here because I didn't have enough AAA batteries. I had to usually get them from Amazon and wait for a couple business days or get some Duracell either way, I don't have the choice but to get batteries from online. Until then, I have to use the batteries that I have so far and actually use system on code. So, pretty much want to know how does it work. Well, I mean, I like the 01 rifle. This one is not considered as an actual rifle. It's more of a gun than an actual rifle instead. It's not actually a belt or a rifle per se. It's more of a rifle. And you will see a common theme with 01 where most of the transformation devices that are saved as a weapon are called rifles, except for the force rifle, which is a complete different rifle. But that's not usually the case. Besides the sergeant's rifle, this one has a different mechanic that's usually different. And pretty much, if you want to bring this to a confession, be forewarned that it doesn't have an orange tip to indicate which one is not a gun or not. You just have to use your better judgment and make sure you don't get caught. Now the way this usually works, that I forgot to mention in my other video, you assault the point. Now here's the thing. You insert the Progrisekey into this. That's like the 01 rifle. Now you press the activation button and you just put this in. And vice versa. You put this tap and then you just transform. And that's what happened. And that's what happens to this degree. And that's how you transform. I use in the comment section. So pretty much what makes this usually different is that the assault rifle introduces a different mechanic that lights up with an LCD. And pretty much it has a different attack button if you try to press this. What makes this usually different is that you can press the button to your own code and you can use it to activate a sound effect. And to place the sound effect or the music or the standby, it indicates a attack pattern. And pretty much it places the sound effect from each activation you do. And pretty much it does this to some degree, and it comes to the point where, you know, it has some essence. Now, besides that, there's also a belt cripple that comes included with the force rifle, and pretty much what makes this different is that it actually utilizes a different ship, and pretty much it uses a ship to some degree. Now, if you didn't see so far, it has a button that indicates whenever something is actually inserted. So the belt grip is actually kind of useful, and you could say that this is an actual rifle per se. And I also forgot that, and I forgot how to put this in. So yeah. It's not that hard to take out. And we have this attached to the gun. You could actually press it again, and you would get a. The FIFA is only attached, and it will just cancel it if you take this out. And to be frank, this one has a lot of abilities, to say the least. It has a lot of potential, and over the years, it could use me well. And if you want to take this out, you just press this button and vice versa. Now it has two different studio effects if you want to use this well, and it also has anything different. Now, and also we buy this at, let's say, eBay, Amazon, any other resale, you actually could get this included. Now this is the only the only way you can actually get this Progrisekey is if you actually buy the Shotriser. That has to be kind of included, and you couldn't even get this if you wanted to. So the only way you could actually get this is if you have to buy this, It may not be necessary, but most of all, you have no choice but to get it. Another thing what makes this usually different is that you can actually wear this around your waist. Of course, it's not really that much accurate. It doesn't really fit the belt motif in a sense. It doesn't really look that good, and if you think about it, it doesn't really work well as a belt. And it does include a belt, but you still need a belt extender to actually wear this around your waist. And it's not usually that much great to think about it. So you have to proceed with caution when you actually use this. Besides that, it can also scan every Progrisekey as much as possible, and it doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to be limited to the shooting wolf. It could be used for anything. So the rising hypo can work well with this. And that's how you know. So pretty much, now if you didn't notice from my Auto 01 Trifer video, this one has a different unboxing video to this end. Now once you had to know so far is that when you put in a 01 Trifer, it actually plays the full sentence at the beginning and then tells you the after sentence at the end. With the Shotriser, it only gives you the end and gives you the outer half of the sentence and makes it short. The whole point of this gimmick is that it was supposed to make it too short, and it's supposed to make it kind of short, easy. Now after a couple of episodes later, the main protagonist actually got access to the Assault Wolf, and the scene is this. Now when the Assault Wolf made its debut, there was also the standard Progrisekey and the standard Assault Grip. The Assault Wolf came in a bundle with the Signing Hoppo set, and the only way you can actually get this is if you have to spend about $10 into it, as I said before. Now pretty much, you can put it in 01 Trifer as a whole, but what makes this usually different is that what makes this usually different is that when this first came out, this was the second form of the Farcan per se, and pretty much there's two ways you can activate this. And it doesn't really have a lot to do. What you know so far is that it has a lot of details being put into it. So pretty much after the series progresses with each episode, I guess there are a lot more gimmicks that are implemented, and sometimes they'll either make the guns so usually different. And it has a different sound effect that's not usually present, and it's usually and as I said, it makes Assault Riser you kind of decent, but too overbearing to say the least, and vice versa. Pretty much that's pretty much it until we actually get to Rampage Gatling. And now we also got this. Now as I said, there are two ways you can actually turn this. For what I know so far, this is actually kind of simple, but you know, turn it off. And this is it. This is actually it. The Rampage Gatling Progrisekey. So yeah, this is usually it. Now another thing you have to keep in mind is now as I said, there's a lot of aesthetics being added to this.
Rampage bullet.
If you see on the back, it's actually kind of transparent and actually shows how the components work.
Gathering ability. Power rise, speed element, all rise ability.
It's kind of too bright and that's a low attention. So as I said, you can either press this or turn the knob to activate, and sometimes you usually work both ways. Now as I said, the way you activate it is usually different, but you just have to play devil's advocate to some degree. So let's try to transform.
Rampage bullet. All rise. Shotriser.
Here he is. And if you didn't notice from the actual base sticker, it's actually there's a lot of glitter being added to it. So what makes this ability different than all the Progrisekey? Well, in episode 1, the shooting wolf Progrisekey enables Fuwa to transform into Kamen Rider Farcat, and this one has the default form for Farcat. Then when maybe episode 17 or 20 came around, Fuwa has access to a Salt Wolf Progrisekey, and this one gives us additional powers that are made by Miss Bright Net, and this was usually given to the fact. And then when episode 30 came around, you also have the ability to use all the previous Progrisekeys. This was made by Guy when he wanted to take over Hindu technologies or something else. And pretty much this is the base form, and we know for the fact he was he was brainwashed to be this guy called, he went geared to be a robot from episode we don't even know, so it's kind of complicated. So what makes this usually different in compared to power is that it contains all of the power of the 9 Progrisekeys possible, and also includes the 9 Progrisekeys of all the animals so far. How is it possible? It's beyond me, but it never usually sprayed anything. But for the most part, this contains all the abilities of all the Progrisekeys combined, and pretty much this is supposed to be the final form, but we don't know yet, so yeah. So pretty much if
Rampage bullet. Rampage Gatling blast.
and when you shoot, it does praise the default for this.
Rampage bullet. Rampage bullet. Rampage Gatling blast.
And you can try to play the sound effect. Pretty much, there's only one sound effect that praises, but if you wanted to activate more, you have to actually tone the knob more if you want to have.
Power Rampage.
And the place to start by mode that's usually different compared to the rest.
Rampage power blast. Power Rampage. Speed Rampage. Element Rampage. Oh Rampage. Rampage full blast. Power Rampage. Speed Rampage.
So there's pretty much speed and element into this mix.
Speed blast. Power Rampage. Speed Rampage.
I would admit that does make the Shotriser heavy per se, and I would admit that it does usually make it unnecessary to say the least, but it's actually cool.
Power, speed, element, all rampage. Rampage all, blast. Power, ramp, speed, element, ramp, all rampage, rampage all, blast.
And really, it does play a decent sound effect when you think about it. And that's pretty much it.
Rampage bolt. Gathering ability. Power ride ability. Speed ride ability. Element ride ability.
And that's how you usually utilize the Shotriser for all the points keys as much as possible. And it's actually kind of useful to say the least. And before we actually put it to the side, we might as well utilize what happens when you actually use this. As I said, I pretty much haven't really put this aside.
Everybody jump. Shotriser.
And also, it was kind of goofy.
High quality. Everybody jump. Metal Rising blast.
Now, as I said, it could take any points keys as much as possible. It could take anything with a grain of salt. Whatever works for you is it can usually make a decent design. And beyond that, that seems to be about it. And that seems to be about it. Overall, the Shotriser is a pretty interesting weapon choice. You could use this for maybe any warplay or a laser gun, but for the most part, you might as well proceed with caution and try to use this. As I said, depending on how you use it, you might as well keep this safe at all times. Now, will I actually bring this to confession with this one? Maybe not. As I said, this is usually kind of hard to find depending on your area or field, and sometimes getting a Shotriser in a decent condition is usually kind of different. As I said, people can just usually steal this and just take a rate, and because this costs about $50 or more, or $60 in some cases, you can't be too careful about this. And sometimes this one was a high demand. And as I said, for a key that has a decent sign choices compared to the metal crosser hopper, it's really a gamble if you want to. Now, it also does work with the 01 Driver too. Now beyond that, this also works with the 01 Driver anything. Now on the back, it works well with the Force Riser and the 01 Driver on the back of the box. Or at least that's what I'm assuming it read, because I can't read Kaijin or Japanese, but that's besides. So you do use the machine, and pretty much you just assert this to anything, vice versa. It doesn't read. It has an after sentence, and it doesn't really have all the names for all the poets keys. It does say the name, and that goes on. Now, as I said, it has a different mechanic to some degree, but if you think about it, now as I said, if you try to read this around to the confession, you have to understand that this one is kind of bulky, and it takes a lot of space. So it does work with a 01 Driver to say the least, and it also has fast regular sound effects.
Power Rampage. Rampage power. Impact.
And it does in fact work in most cases, and it never usually fails.
Power, Rampage. Speed, Rampage. Rampage speed, impact. Oh, Rampage. Rampage, oh, impact.
And it does in fact work in most cases. And to be frank, it does in fact work. So pretty much, it's not really a bad Progrisekey. I would say the biggest complaint about it is it takes a lot of space for this one. It's always from the same issues at the Meta Crosser Hubble, but the only difference is that it doesn't really take too much space. It really, it may be good in terms of aesthetics, but trying to read this in the confection is kind of hard. Not to mention the face plate is upside down, so I'm not sure if you want to take this on the go. And beyond that, it's only good as an aesthetic, but not good if you want to get this lost anywhere else. So, not something I would recommend. But that's just me. So pretty much that's pretty much the entirety of the Progrisekey of itself. And as I said, there's also now if you want to hear the sound effect without the direction, you could.
Rampage bullet. All rise. Full. Gathering round. Rampage happening. Red, cheetah, hornet, tiger. Over there.
If you notice, it does place a different sound effect in comparison.
Power, Rampage. Rampage power, blast.
That's about it for this one. And that's about it for this Progrisekey of its entirety. And that's about it for this one. This is one of those unboxing videos that I never planned to usually make in my lifetime, but this was actually a short segment to say the least. As I said, this was a short segment in the sense that, you know, this took about 6 days, and there may be some delays with the upcoming Progrisekeys. There's supposed to be the hard and the exact stack that I'm supposed to get, but there may be more to come. Now, so what's so good about it? Well, for starters, it's actually kind of transparent, and it does show you a lot of details behind the scenes. Compared to the shiny Hubble, it does tell you where the post is. Another thing when you want to know is they have to go all the way.
Gathering. Power rise ability. Speed rise ability.
Now there are two ways you guys.
Element rise ability. All rise ability. Rampage bullet.
And as I said,
Gathering power speed element rise. All rise. Rampage bullet.
I will admit that they actually put a lot of effort in the Progrisekey. They added a lot of glitter. And the thing is that besides a lot of detail, they put a lot of effort into this in some cases. And the only thing I have to complain is that the process seems kind of bare bones. They made everything shiny and didn't really make this shiny enough per se. So the only saving grace so far is that you got a fan parade and you also got the Progrisekey incursion. And as I said, this is a newest key of this month. This was released the 28th, maybe at March. And for what I know so far, people got this way too early before the release date. So most of all, you'd be surprised how many people actually got this beforehand. But beyond that, that seems to be about it. The only thing I would say so far is that this is the only Progrisekey I would usually consider. And as I said, it's not a bad Progrisekey. Now I think that in later segments I might include the Shotriser in later segments, maybe because I haven't really searched so far. But for a unboxing video, this one was actually a high quality key. They actually push a lot of gimmicks into this, and that's usually because they try to pan this out to some degree. But in most cases, it's not even that bad. So it is what it is. Probably maybe future videos, you know, I might showcase the Force Riser that was destructed, and I might. So you never know. It might be different. You never know. But yeah. So that's about it. So beyond that, there's a lot of potential for the show. We on I just watched episode 30 yesterday, and it was kind of decent. It was the end of chapter 1, and it was supposed to be the start of chapter 2 for my guidance. So most of all, this one was a really decent this was a really decent unboxing video that I never did so far, and I would pretty much say that this is the only key that has potential. I think that this is way better than the Method Cross-Still key in a sense, because, you know, part of the problem is that it doesn't have a lot of transparency on the back, and this is the supposed to be the soul form, and this is supposed to be the final form of Falcon, but we just wouldn't know from this point on. So, frankly enough, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to get more Serial 1 merchandise as much as possible, and try to usually get every merch before they get sorted out. I probably might need to get much of a job if possible, and I might be able to put this where it's actually belong. But I don't know what's the future with Serial 1, but it might be more than we actually expected, and this is the actual first quarter due to the fact I'm usually surprised they still making episodes during the flu season, but I know it's all hype. Posey has said that this is way better because it doesn't really have any stiffness, and this one was actually kind of smooth. So a lot of improvement. So as I said, that seems to be about it from this segment. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I can't really think so far what to say about it besides the fact that it misses text, or maybe this was an actual beta, but we don't know. So beyond that, that's about it. So I hope you guys are ready for another segment. There's a lot to happen, and I might make more videos in the future, but until then, I'm kind of busy for the moment, and I have a lot of things to do. But if you can usually subscribe, hit the like button, and actually comment which one's your favorite or whatnot, that would be extremely helpful. So until then, rat-a-tat-tat, sign up with a decent ultimatum, and hope you guys have a decent holiday, a decent spree break, if you can. Happy Easter, even though we're only 6 days away, and happy holidays. You might need it, and I do too. So now, peace out, and have a great day if you can.